Hey guys, what's up? It's Rob here.
And Ethan.
We're from Hot and Heavy. We're at Unreal Studios with Damage Inc.
How are we, guys?
What's up, guys? Danny Ritz, lead guitars and chief content officer for social media.
What's up? I'm Mitch. I play the bass. And I'm a plumber.
Hey, I'm Clint. I do the James Hetfield for Damage Inc. and been doing this for nearly 22 years next year. So,
Hey, I'm Brad Thomas. I'm behind the kit, smashing away.
So, how on earth do you replicate Metallica's sound as well as you do? Like, you sound exactly like James Hetfield, and it's actually scary at this point. Like, how on earth do you guys do it down to the tone, down to the set? How, just, yeah.
So it's like an obsession to us. So it's like I know Danny and I geek out over tones. Like we're very sort of anal about, being meticulous with it, and we're perfectionists in ways that it's never good enough. So we're always constantly looking for something better, just constantly. And the voice thing sounding like Hetfield, I don't know. It's just, just one day I sort of discovered I could do it, and then loving Metallica, it just worked out really well for me. I guess I'm pretty lucky, and but you got to look after it, and I've had some lessons how to look after my voice, and because I was losing my voice at the end of gigs, and but I've looked after it, and it's stronger than it's ever been. So it's just meticulous and not giving up on trying to achieve the best sound. I don't know if you want to elaborate on your sound. I think it's.
I guess I can get a little bit geeky about it, but just making sure our tones sit together well. So if someone has a bit more of like a brighter tone, the other one has a darker one, instead of trying to have the exact same tone and turning it into mush, we kind of occupy different spaces on the EQ spectrum, I guess. So I have more like the harsher, brighter tone, whereas Clint has the bigger, sort of scooped, the old school Metallica tone, where I've got the more new school, and it makes for just a massive sound live. And like never taking no for an answer. It's never good enough. So always tweaking, always getting better.
Yeah. So what would you guys say your favourite song of Metallica's is, or to cover?
Should we go down the line? Or?
For me, it's got to be Fade to Black. So when we got to play with the George Ellis Orchestra, that was one of the songs we got to do. So the main gist of that show was doing S&M 1 and 2 songs, but we also got to do songs Metallica had never done before. And for me, that final like Hammett solo, because that was one of the first ones I ever heard, and just when I first heard it, stood all the hairs on the back of my neck when I still had them. And doing that with the orchestra, just feeling like just an out-of-body experience, just transcendental. So Fade to Black for me.
My favorite song to like listen to changes constantly. Right now it's probably Dyer's Eve. But to play live, I think I like For Whom the Bell Tolls, for obvious reasons.
Probably for me, it'd be like a sing-along song. So Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, or Nothing Else Matters. It does help when people are singing along, like just to get their vibe and get their energy, So usually those songs are at the back end of the set when we're a little bit tired and a little bit fatigued. And to get someone else's energy and see someone losing their mind over a song, and it makes my hair stand up the back of my neck. There's been times where I've played Nothing Else Matters, and usually we do the first half of that song. I do it just by myself. So when the crowd sings, sometimes they're louder than the PA and all my in-ear monitors, and I can't even hear myself. So, so probably a sing-along song for sure.
Take you back to when Metallica first released Reload and the last track on that album, Fixer. And when I joined Damage Inc. many, many years ago, Clint sent me a couple of questions for the website. It's like, what would be your favorite song to play live? And obviously I'd said Fixer. Just hearing that song for the first time and just how different it was for Metallica, and the length of the song, and just given the content of the track as well. So and we've been able to play it live a couple of times. It's always been a very esoteric experience, kind of like just close your eyes and lose yourself.
Just want to touch as well, like talking about For Whom the Bell Tolls, like when I was teaching myself guitar in high school, like, I brought myself to learn Metallica. Like, just a bit of a useless fact for you, but I actually taught myself For Whom the Bell Tolls, before I even heard the song. I was just looking at the riff patterns and just played it, and I was like, "Oh, this song sounds cool." Then went to like actually listen to it recorded, and I was like, "Oh, this song is sick."
Were you playing it right? The rhythm and everything?
I was, just sort of taught myself, like, self-taught guitar in high school. And I was
That's
like,
so strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
To learn a song you've not heard before and like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
I mean, like for learning a new piece of music, whatever, you're learning stuff that you don't know. But for like, to just pick a random metal song and be like, I'm going to learn this and then listen to it. It's funny.
Yeah, like at the time, I was teaching myself like a fair few Metallica songs, but like the app that I was using, I think it was like Ultimate Guitar Tabs or something, and like it had like the counting and like when to play and stuff. So I was just like copying that. Yeah,
It's cool.
So, how do you guys get started, and how do you establish yourself as a Metallica tribute band instead of going off and wanting to do your own thing, but it's just sticking to being the Metallica tribute? Because I find that really cool.
Well, that started back in 2003, but our first gig was in 2004, of March that year. But for me, it's always just been Metallica. I've always wanted to play it. I've done it in my room and by myself, and I just found guys that were willing to do it with me and play live, and whether it's these guys or the guys before them, and I've always just wanted to play Metallica. I wanted to be in Metallica, you know what I mean? And this is the closest that I can get to that. So, that's my opportunity to be James Hetfield for that little bit, and obviously that's a lot of people's dreams to be able to be that. And so that's how it started. And then there's been different members along the way. Everyone's got their own individual touches where they want to do their original stuff, Danny, Mitch, and Brad's done it as well. I've even gone into it a little bit, but on the original side of things. But it didn't feel the same. It felt too different for me, and I wasn't enjoying it. Sort of fighting over riffs and stuff like that. So I steered away from it and just thought I'd just concentrate more on the Damage Inc. side and the Metallica side, because that's what I knew and it's easy for me to do and it's what I love. So, you want to elaborate on that?
Sure. Well, Dan and I have been playing Metallica songs in my bedroom since we were like this tall, this high. And Dan and I started a band together and had no idea how to write music. And so we just played Metallica songs until we taught ourselves how to write music. So it's like Metallica's been there. Like we've grown up with Metallica, and like Clint said, like when you're a little kid, like you want to be in Metallica. I mean, I still wish I could be in Metallica. I don't think that's ever going to go away for anyone. I think everyone in this room kind of wishes they could be in Metallica. And so yeah, just to how did it happen? Drew left.
Yeah, Drew moved down to Melbourne.
Yeah, so their bassist, Damage Inc.'s bassist before me, moved down to Melbourne. Clint put an ad up on Facebook. I randomly saw it, and I thought, oh, that sounds... Because Dan and I were playing, in our own band together, and I thought, that sounds like fun, like, next best thing, like Clint said. So, yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah. I auditioned, and I got the role as Kirk Hammett.
Kirk Hamlet.
And then they offered him $1 million to join the band to make sure that we were serious. But yeah, like Mitch said, we were playing together. I started like with my dad. He showed me like Bullet for My Valentine was the band that sort of set me on the trajectory. Then started playing guitar. Started on bass because Mitch had a bass, and I'm like, well, it makes no sense having two basses. So got a lead guitar and gravitated towards that. Then it's where you play the leads and the rhythms. And and then I think in 2018 or was it 2019 it would have been, these guys had a show and they needed someone to fill in for a couple songs, some of the harder songs in the set, because their previous guitarist was stepping away. So they got me to do, I think, 4 or 5 songs on that show. Then at the end of it, I'm like, guys, that was fun. Like, if you have me, I'll be there. And then, the next show, they sort of tested me out once more. And then after that, they're like, yeah, we want you in the band. So since 2019, I think the Facebook post was official, and that's when everything matters, when it's on social media nowadays. So, yeah, I've been in Damage Inc. since then.
Thanks, Daniel Ritz. Yeah, so obviously as high school students, you're going to go into the music room and jam out Metallica. I had a couple of classmates that we did the same to. And it had been quite a number of years that Metallica had actually been out to Australia. So I started to scour Facebook. I'm just like, I wonder if there's any kind of like, I hear that the tribute scene is kind of getting up there, and found that there was one that was local to me. So it was a night that Damage Inc. was playing at St. Mary's RSL, it was the RSL. I went down there and checked them out. Coincidentally, it was the night that Clint proposed to Angela. So that was interesting. It was under the guise of a song that they've never played before. So I remember that vividly. But yeah, then not long after that, I received a message from Clint saying, "Hey, we need a new drummer. Do you want to come out and audition?" And that was the intro to me and the band. But always on the lookout for I'd been in original bands at the time, but just wanted to see if there was anybody out there that was doing the Metallica tribute thing, and Clint was there.
Yeah, so I know that you guys got acknowledged by Metallica. For anyone that doesn't know, including myself, actually, do you want to explain how that came about?
Yeah, sure. So Metallica released Lux Eterna on a Tuesday morning. We woke up and they released that song, so they dropped it out of nowhere, and we had a gig that Friday night, and we sort of quickly were like, hey, let's learn this song and play it, freak people out. So we learnt it, and the first time we played it together was at a sound check. And then, we played it that night, and people lost their minds. We got it filmed, and then we put it up, hoping for that reaction from Metallica. That's what we were hoping for, that they could see, okay, these guys are serious. And then when we did get that vindication of them going, like, these guys did it, and it was on the Howard Stern show too, like the biggest radio show in the world. Like, not only has Metallica acknowledged us, it's on the Howard Stern show for however many more millions of people are going to see it. So it was the whole thing was just surreal. We're still living off it now.
So did you find out about that by watching Howard Stern, or did someone come up to you and be like, dude,
Well, we all found out different ways, which was pretty funny because you guys were over in Europe. So I was at work, and I'm in an office with another guy, and I just walked out and I'd left my phone, and then I went to do something out in the yard, and then as I walked back in, he sort of grabbed my attention. He's like, "You might want to check your phone. I think something's wrong. It hasn't stopped buzzing for half an hour." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I walked over, and then slowly started people like, "Oh, congratulations! Oh, well done." I'm like, "What's going on?" I started to open them up, and I'm like, "What are they talking about?" And then I found the video after about 5 minutes, and then I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then the guy next in the office with me was like, "Is everything all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Metallica just spoke about us on the Howard Stern show." And he goes, "Oh, is that all?" And then just like went back to work. It was just, and I'm like, "Is that all?" Like, my heart's in my throat. I'm about to cry. Like, this is the moment I've been waiting for. So it's just funny how it means different things to different people, and it's something that I'll never forget. Like, just them speaking about us, saying that we're from Australia, having footage of us, and it was so cool. It was just that's what you do that for. That's the sort of, you want them to go, "Oh, they do it. Well done. Good job. Keep doing it." And that's what they did. So we'll live off that for the rest of our lives. So
A very different story. I think I just found out through our band chat. It's just like, hey, we've been featured on the Howard Stern show from when we played Lux Eterna at one of our sound checks. And it blew up. Obviously, Metallica shared it to their Instagram reel, and it blew up. I think it was in the vicinity of 200,000 views by the time the story expired on the Metallica Instagram. So, yeah, huge, massive.
Yeah, Dan and I were on tour in Europe with another one of our bands, and you're kind of like isolated without internet until you get to a venue and everyone is searching the walls for the Wi-Fi password, and so everyone can hop online and like check all their messages and emails and whatever. And so I think we might have been a few hours late to the party because we're like cavemen, disconnected from the digital world. And yeah, so we checked our phone, messages like Brad from the band chat, and we're like, what is everyone talking? I think I read a message from Clint being like, dude, go watch this. Which I'm like, what are you talking about? And we watched it and we were like in disbelief. We were like stunned, and we were going around and showing everyone on the tour, like, dude, watch this video, check this out, look at this. Like it was pretty cool. I think everyone was super excited for us there. Dan might have more to add.
Yeah, I remember I was in Lyon, France, and like Mitch said, you're isolated, disconnected, kind of like cavemen. So this was before I realized you could get eSIMs and just like get Wi-Fi on your phone. So yeah, like Mitch said, you have to scour the venue. So straight away, coffee and Wi-Fi is the first thing I look for. And I think he woke up before me. He was already up. And once I like rolled out of bed, like I think it was 11 a.m. or something, walked into the venue all like bug-eyed, trying to look for coffee and Wi-Fi. He's like, Dan, you're not going to believe it. And I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong with you? It's so early. Like, I haven't had a coffee, relax. He's like, watch this. And I think it was a video Clint had posted. It was just a photo of Lars, and it had the audio excerpt of the Stern Show, because this was before the video came out. That's on YouTube, which now has like, I think 1.6 million views. Crazy. But yeah, it was just like the audio snippet. And then he mentions us, and I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? And yeah, like completely in disbelief. Like I can still pinch myself, and it feels crazy. Lars Ulrich mentioned you, and you're on the Howard Stern Show forever. So completely crazy. But yeah, here we are. Like Clint said, that was the last day he worked his job, and we're living off it still.
Yeah, it's funny, like just this one tiny little clip or this one little couple sentences from Lars, like how much it means to all of us. Like it's like these little things can mean so much, and just they can do it in passing. But to us, it's like, yeah.
It means the world.
Yeah, I still think about it every day. It's such a cool thing. Might not mean much to other people, but like when this is like so much of your world and means so much to you, and you're so passionate about it, that one little thing is like massive.
No, it's definitely like, a huge highlight for you guys, and makes me happy that happened. So fuck yeah.